Why are you so in the dark?
I'm over here.
Do I need to turn this up?
No, I'm over here. If I come over there, I won't be in the dark anymore.
How's that muffin?
Big.
It's a mini muffin.
I got a small mouth.
Mm. Ow. We're gonna give some time for everyone to roll in, but happy Christmas Eve Eve! It's Christmas Eve Eve. It's the best day in the year. It's the night I got engaged. Happy engage-anniversary.
Happy engagement. I did it. I did a great job.
I mean, it's lasted for... This is 8 years of the engage-anniversary, technically. Cheers. You're very festive.
I'm out of clothes. The laundry is stacked twice as high as the hamper is. I'm out of clothes. James, can you have any festive? I don't own a lot of like Christmassy outfits to begin with.
Speaking of which, I need to switch the laundry.
Maybe then we can topple part of Mount Laundry. We can put it in the machine so the machine can cleanse it. Then we can put it in the other machine so the machine can explode. And then we can fold and put away our charred remains of our laundry.
Then you'd have no more clothes.
This is the second to last shirt in the drawer. And the last one is, I'm not stupid, I'm Texas.
I folded. You have some shirts on the couch. I folded them.
Those aren't in the drawer.
I didn't.
If I abide by the America rules, I can't wear those.
You don't have to abide by my rules.
See, what I was trying to do was tell you that your rules are dumb.
Oh, see, my rules are kind of like Sebastian's rules. It's how I ensure that all of my clothes get worn. Otherwise, I'll just keep wearing the same clothes over and over and over again. We have a lot of laundry.
The secret is have less clothes so that it doesn't matter if you wear them.
But then I'd be wearing the same outfits over and over and over again.
Works out for me. Ooh.
Hmm.
Individual I need to ping.
Did you not tell him?
I don't remember.
I told you to tell him.
I know, but I think I saw something else that he wrote, and I did not tell him.
Tell him you're bad. You're a bad person. I told you to tell him. We have a lot of laundry. It's almost as tall as I am.
It's taller than you are.
It's not taller than I am yet. It's close.
It's almost at my eye level.
Ooh, I love that for you.
I don't.
Let's go yell at cars.
No.
Why not?
Bad.
Why are you boring?
Bad.
Why are you boring?
Poor choices.
See? Bree's with me.
Ugh.
Why don't you go pretend to vacuum your lawn so you can watch? Believe it or not, I still haven't run out of clothes. I still have so many pants and so many shirts. And if I run out of those, then I have dresses and skirts. And if I run out of those, then we'll be in trouble. It's too cold here to go outside. You have jackets? Yay! I told James to tell you 2 days ago. What are you looking for?
Whatever. The door clanged.
The bags on the door banged against the door because I flung the door violently. You know, Christmas is tomorrow.
No, Christmas Eve is tomorrow. We just do more stuff on Christmas Eve than the average bear.
that's when the tree's kind of important, is Christmas Eve. Alrighty, it's officially time to start. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our best, guys. This is one of two trees. I am a 2-tree household now. This is the nerd tree. And then I have the classy tree out there. But this one has talking ornaments. Like there's a Harry and Snape ornament right there. There. And it has quotes on it. And then I have Ron writing the chess piece like over on the side. No, Ron, no. That whole scene, yeah. So, and then I've got a bunch of really cool ones that are like Hogsmeade buildings that you can stick lights in, and it makes the lights inside the building light up. You use the lights on your tree and you shove it in the back. James is also here.
I'm just waiting to do a show that I'm woefully unprepared for.
You watched the movie.
Yep.
That's like the only preparation you have to do.
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
I got nothing. I don't know. You wait on me or
I don't know. Every intro is a gambling game of fear with me. James is apparently the bah humbug of this
but
duo.
not for Christmas. I'm stoked on Christmas. Today is December 23rd to date the recording of this. Who knows when the actual hell this episode will go up. But yeah, so
we didn't watch a Christmas movie because we're woefully behind. So
no, but we did watch a movie that has snow in it, so that counts.
Yeah.
There is snow, and it happens. It doesn't happen until the end of the movie. But there's snow, and there's characters in the movie, and there's a anthropomorphized digital robot in the movie, and that's the end. So
we keep watching really poignant movies for the time that we are living in currently. These unprecedented times. I felt like as I was
all of the times since I was born have been precedented. No, they've been unprecedented the entire time. Since I was born in 1995, and every single year since then has been unprecedented. There has not been a single year that I have not been. There's not been a single year where I've been alive and things haven't been shitty, in some way.
That's fair.
So we watched The Iron Giant.
Oh yeah, that's what we watched. No one said that. That's James. I'm America, and we will never be good at intros if you're new here. Yeah, no, I watched this movie when I was like 6, I think.
I saw this movie for the first time today.
What did you think of it, James?
Yeah, give it like a 7.5, 8.
That's pretty good.
I mean, it's here's the problem that I have.
You have a problem with this classic?
I don't have a problem with the movie. I have a problem with the situation around this movie right now. Because I didn't watch it as a child, I have no like nostalgic memories around it. I don't have this very warm, fuzzy feeling about it that makes me feel good when I think about it. I have had the movie spoiled for me for years. So like I knew what was going to happen at the end of the movie because I've seen clips here and there.
They also foreshadow the hell out of it.
Well, I mean, it is a movie for kids. It's not, and it's Brad Bird's first thing. Maybe the most intricate thing I can say about the movie is Brad Bird as a director has a particular style that he employs in all his movies that I've seen, anyways, and you pick up on it. It's a handful, like it's sort of like a bag of everything.
Isn't Brad Bird? Doesn't he
he
do?
did Incredibles.
Yeah, I was like, isn't he a Pixar guy?
Well, not necessarily a
Was.
Pixar guy, but he did The Incredibles. So it's like the movie has a little bit of everything in it. There's a little bit of really talented cast.
There's a lot of talented cast, actually.
Yeah, but only like 2 of them don't phone it in. And I mean, it's a kids movie, so like, does it matter? No. But you know, once you find out the mom's played by Jennifer Aniston, you go, oh, well, that's just Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, you don't even have to find that out. You hear her talk and you go, hey, that's Jennifer Aniston.
Well, I mean, I heard her and I was like, IMDb, who is that? It sounds familiar. And I was like, oh, well, I'm just never going, like, the visual of the mom, I don't know what she looks like. Because as I watched the movie, I was just like, hey, it's Jennifer Aniston. So
the mom is not as hot as Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like I just don't have a lot really to talk about with the movie. I mean, there's like social commentary and stuff that you can talk. What are you doing?
I'm causing chaos.
Stop.
Okay.
All right. Like, there's social commentary and stuff you can talk about, but it's pretty, because of the way things are in the real world in the year of our Lord 2024, it's like everything's so on the nose that like it doesn't bear explaining everything. Because we just you watch the movie and you go, "Oh, yeah, people are shitty." Okay, and you move on. It I don't know. I don't want to say I was disappointed by the movie because I went into it going, I know how the end is, and like I didn't know how sinister this fucking Mansley guy was going to be. Holy shit!
I don't remember him being so like he freaking chloroforms a child.
I don't even want to say like to be fair, but the child does drug him first. But it like
he also is like physically violent with the child, and he does stuff like without the child's mom present. Like
you couldn't make this movie today.
It was major, like ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I have a very interesting opinion about the movie because I'm like, it was fine. It was good. Like, there's nothing for me to call on to be like, the movie is poignant because of blank. Like it's fine. It's good. Mansley's maybe one of the top sinister villains I've ever seen in a movie.
Honestly, yeah. He's right up there with that dude from Atlantis for me.
Yeah.
Like
talk about sinister villains in kids movies. Holy
that guy gives me the ick. Like he makes me feel uncomfy.
The fucking we can meme the shit out of Zootopia, but the lamb in Zootopia, psychotic.
Oh, she's insane.
Truly unhinged villain character.
Hate that movie though.
Terrible movie.
Talking about on the nose movies. Zootopia's
that one was built on a nose, and it remains there to this day.
It was built on Pinocchio's nose. It just
after a great deal of lying. So, I guess to walk you through it, I mean, maybe I should just ramble on about it because that way, maybe I can, I don't know.
No, you got notes.
Dredge something up.
You got notes, and we got to talk about the plot. There's a somewhat formulaic thing to this podcast, so
I have 25 notes.
Dear God.
I was bored! It's
the truth comes out.
Once again, it's a kids movie. It's not a movie for me, and because it's a kids movie,
you watched other kids movies and had
and they touched my little kid heart, and this one didn't.
But Superman,
I'm sad.
I cried today.
Very
I cried
sad.
watching it again.
I have trauma from my childhood. So I don't cry at movies or important moments where I should cry. That's not allowed.
Like our wedding.
Like our wedding, didn't cry. Got shit for it too. I can't fucking fake it. I don't know. Didn't cry at the end of this movie. Didn't cry at the Titanic, although I was deeply traumatized by it. Like, that's one of the that's one of the problems with this movie for me is like I'm conditioned from my youth to not be affected by this particular type of movie. So it doesn't.
You cried at Onward.
Yeah, but that touched on a trauma I have as an adult. That hit on something different, something that I'm in right now, not something that I would have been in 20 years ago.
You cried at Soul.
No, I didn't.
Mm-hmm. The first
Not
time
at
we
Soul.
watched it, yeah.
Oh,
You shed a tear.
I shed a tear.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do an episode of the show where we just make a list of the movies James cried at? It's 2 Pixar movies and nothing else.
It's a tier list.
It's a tier list. Every other movie in history goes in no, and 2 Pixar movies go in yes.
There has to be more than one Pixar, or more than those 2 Pixar movies that you cried at.
Like as in other Pixar movies or just other movies?
Well, I was thinking mainly Pixar, because Pixar is like known for it. You didn't cry watching Inside Out?
No. No, I didn't.
Old Yeller.
I never watched Old Yeller, but I did read the book. I read the book Old Yeller, and that was, and I read the book Where the Red Fern Grows, and my God.
And you've never watched either movie?
No, because I read the books, and I'm like, I don't fucking want that.
We're gonna do some live therapy.
Can we just do some bad movies instead?
Oh, don't
please?
worry. Joker Folie à Deux is viewable, so.
Oh, you're gonna make this show unbearable for me to do for weeks because you're choosing these movies.
We also have Beetlejuice.
Okay, maybe he's a little less rapey in this one.
I think he has to be because it's 24, but.
Fucking talk about the Iron Giant.
Okay, so it is in October in 1957, so during the Cold War. And we start off with like an object from space crashing into the ocean. In the only place in the continental US where children remain unsupervised and parents don't give a fuck. So Maine. And we're in Rockwell. Which, is Rockwell a real place or is it fictional? I don't know, and I didn't care to look. And then we are introduced to our protagonists, which, I mean, Mansley sucks, but he's not wrong. His name is Hogarth. Who names their child Hogarth? Hogarth Hughes. He is 9 years old. He's a child. He's a baby. Not even double digits. And he basically, his whole thing is he wants a pet.
Not a real town.
And, okay. He wants a pet, and his mom won't let him have a pet, which is kind of what spurns on his whole quest in this thing. Is he just wants something to care for and hang out with. And his mom won't let him for reasons. Because she sucks. I don't know.
Stop trying to bring wild animals in.
Yeah, he does start off by trying to bring in a squirrel.
No, a raccoon first. And there is deep trauma with the mom about the raccoon.
And then it's a squirrel.
The squirrel is in the movie. The raccoon is just an unspoken horror. Okay?
Yeah, but the squirrel is the one that he starts the movie off with. Where we also meet, his name starts with a D and it's not Dean. Hey, Dean. Dean, who's like a junkyard artist. That's his whole character.
Well, he runs a junkyard and also he makes art.
He makes art out of the junk. So he basically the night after the object from space crashes and all these people, well, not all these people, one person in town is freaking out about it. Hogarth's antenna for his TV, old, gets messed up, and so he climbs onto
the 50s.
I know, it's just I remember having antenna on the TVs. I remember I I don't like how quickly technology has progressed. Like it's scary sometimes to think about. Like even in my lifetime, we had like we didn't have cable when I was like young and we had VHSs. And that's just a weird place to be in cuz now everything is digital and there is no cable but you have to pay for 80 different streaming services and you can watch TV in the palm of your hand. And no one really uses physical media anymore. And it's just a wild ride. But so Hogarth goes and climbs upon his roof.
My note for this section is I think Hogarth is stupid.
Why?
He has no sense of danger.
No, he has a sense of danger, but he's brave. He's got bravery. Come on, Gryffindor.
Idiot.
Are you sure you're a Gryffindor?
Yes, I'm mean.
Because, like, being brave and stupid is kind of like your guys' whole shtick.
Yeah, but I do it for show.
You're a showboating Gryffindor?
Well, yeah. We're on fucking camera right now.
Alrighty. Alrighty. So, Hogarth goes to investigate the the can't even with you. Hogarth goes to investigate and he finds this giant I guess apparently according to Wikipedia it's a 50-foot tall alien robot. I don't know how to put that into like relevant scale in my brain, mainly because my visual processing with size is not.
If you took our
Great.
house and
Okay.
you put it on top of our house twice.
So it's like a 3-story house.
No.
No.
No, because technically our roof goes up to 2 stories because we have the crawl space above the garage, right? So if you took that, which is approximately 20-ish feet, and then put it on top of that, and then put it on top of that, you'd be around there. That'd be about how tall.
It's like really tall.
Yeah, it's babe, the movie's called The Iron Giant, and if you can't get with the idea of a 50-foot tall alien robot as the Iron Giant, then both of us are fucked in this one.
Just 50 feet tall is really big.
Yeah.
Like, I guess in perspective, like when he's holding the car and stuff, he just doesn't seem that big. He seems like a 2-story big giant.
When he stands up in the town at the end, he's taller than all of the town.
But that's a small town. That doesn't count. Their buildings aren't very big anyways.
You remember the kids that dangle from the building because it broke and they were dangling around 3 stories up?
Yeah.
He stands taller than that.
Okay. So, a 50-foot tall alien robot.
All right, we've established that the iron is giant. We've locked it down.
And the robot ends up getting like electrocuted at the power plant, and
Because he hungry.
Yeah, because he eats metal. The robot has a digestive system, I guess, but he doesn't. Yes, continue.
No, go on.
He doesn't excrete the metal. So, like, does he harness it for energy? Like, does he melt it down in his core and then turn it into like a fuel source almost? These are the questions I had while watching the movie for the second time.
I saw something recently that it was some filmmaker who said the more you ask questions trying to peel back layers of movies, especially kids movies, the worse the kids movie looks, because it's most of the time meant to be a fantasy, so there's not supposed to be an explanation for any of the fantasy things.
That guy has clearly never met me.
I think he's dead. So yeah? You know a lot of dead filmmakers, babe? That'd be weird.
I might know one more after tonight. Alrighty.
Yeah, because the audience is gonna pick some fuck off movie like Old Yeller, and I'm gonna kill myself before we watch it.
So the robot is getting electrocuted, and Hogarth goes back because he got scared and he ran away.
This is where he has real bravery.
And he goes back and saves the robot by turning off this giant switch. The entire power plant is controlled by one switch that says on off that is easily accessible to anyone, apparently.
I bet you could probably find a couple power plants in the world where there is a on off emergency switch. Because I mean, like think about this, at every single gas station, almost at every single pump, sometimes I've seen it at least one gas station, but most of the time on the building that the gas station's attached to, there's an emergency shutoff button for in case of emergencies. So I'm willing to bet you could find some power stations where there's a switch or a button that's an emergency on-off button.
Hey,
now,
James.
Should it be on the outside of the building, exposed to the elements and various sundry? No, that's dumb as hell. But this is a kid's movie. So what?
Hey, James.
Uh-huh.
Can I have the person that shits on movies with me back, please? Are you good? Are you good?
There's not a lot wrong with this movie.
Oh my god. Okay, there's not a lot wrong with it, but you didn't enjoy it.
No, I enjoyed it. What did I rate it? 7.5? 8? Pretty fucking good. On my scale of shit.
Would you ever watch it again?
When Sebastian watches it. Eventually.
I think it's a great movie to talk about death with young children. Like, I think it handles it.
Oh, there's a ton of things that
really
it handles
well.
really well, such as actual bravery. And I wanted to talk about that since Hogarth goes back in, and I made fun of him for having dumb bravery. Now, there are two types of bravery that Hogarth showcases. One is the ill-informed bravery of a young boy who stomps into the woods with a BB gun with a flashlight duct taped to it that does cover the opening of the barrel of the gun. So even if he did shoot, it would not hit his target. Because he's convinced that he is going to very patriotically deal with the alien incursion into the small back-ass water town of Rockwell, Maine. That is dumb bravery. And good on you for having it. You're fucking 9. Great. Good on you. Excellent. Well done. That's dumb kid bravery. The proper bravery that he displays is later when he fucking goes back to shut the power off because he feels bad for the somewhat sentient robot creature that he's found. That's the sense of right and wrong and bravery that he ought to be displaying. That is not dumb bravery. That is kind-hearted bravery. Now, those are the two braveries. Do you have comments?
No.
Great. Carry on.
Okay.
Shits on movies. Get the fuck out of here.
So, Hogarth befriends the giant. And he describes the giant as having, like, the mind of, like, a child. My one issue...
Just get the mind of a dog at first.
Like, my actual whole issue with this movie is, the Iron Giant, the giant, goes from, like, barely being able to understand, like, one word in English, which I really appreciate the movie. I'm really glad that the giant just didn't immediately, like, understand English. But we go from going rock, tree, to, like, anything Hogarth says, the giant is suddenly able to understand. He knows how to work a TV, like, out of nowhere. It just, like, they started off so well, and then just kind of forgot how to continue with the giant learning.
Hey man, if an alien came down and disassembled your car, then reassembled your car, would you go, "Aw, the mind of a child"? No, you'd go, "How the fuck do you know how to do all that shit?" And you wouldn't go, "Aw, you're poorly written." You'd go, "That's creepy and I don't like it."
Your point?
It's a kids movie, leave it alone.
No. That would literally cancel this whole channel. Like the podcast is done if we just took kids movies and left them alone.
We really rarely do kids movies.
Ghostbusters.
Not a kids movie. I'm pretty sure they say fucking Ghostbusters.
Flintstones.
I wouldn't let kids watch that movie because I don't want kids to get stupider.
At least the first 2 Harry Potters.
Well, yeah, but like, those movies are bad.
Almost every Tim Burton movie we've done.
Terrible.
Okay.
Horror nightmare fests.
So
Bad. Don't let kids watch those.
what is your definition of a kids movie? Is this, by your definition, the only kids movie we've ever done?
No, because you know what other nightmare kids movie we did?
Sonic?
No, although that is a good point. And Sonic 2. Yeah, Sonic 3, put that on there.
I was about to.
No, the
Rescue Rangers?
No.
Which we did.
That felt sort of like in a movie for adults with the amount of jokes for grown-ups in it. No, that nightmare 80s movie with the David Bowie's got his dick out.
The Labyrinth?
Yeah, that one.
I don't know.
That's a kids movie, technically.
Yeah, I don't
Kids
know.
movies in the 80s shouldn't count because kids movies in the 80s say things like fuck and slurs. And those are bad things we should not have in kids movies.
We have talked so little about this movie.
There's not a lot. Nothing happens. It's the nothing happens this movie to nothing happens in.
Well, Hogarth.
It takes place over 5 days. Robot gets big, strong, smart, and then kills itself. For the greater good, but he kills itself. And he doesn't even die. Maybe the robot needs to eat metal so he can use his radar, put himself back together a thing.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not friends with Brad Bird. I can't just call him up on the phone and be like, hey, what's the deal with the Iron Giant eating metal? And he'd be like, what are you talking about? And I'd be like, I want to know. Why does the Iron Giant eat metal? And he'd be like, because he's hungry. And I'd be like, does he have a digestive system? And he'd be like, hey, man, why don't you shut the fuck up about why the Iron Giant eats metal? Then you pedantic fuck. We don't get paid for this podcast. I don't feel like being a pedantic fuck about this movie in particular. I'm really good at being a pedantic fuck about movies.
So the Iron Giant tries to eat a railroad track. And then Hogarth instructs him that that's bad, and so he puts the railroad back together, but he's kind of a perfectionist, apparently. And
that was pretty fucking funny.
he
was really, really. I mean, the kid told him, "No, you've got to put it back together better," and he goes, "Better it is."
like,
we're gonna thread this fucking needle.
And then the train collides with him, and that's when we do figure out that, like James said, that he can repair himself. So yeah, that's basically the amount of times that the Iron Giant takes one bite out of things. He's also one bite from freaking Ned's Declassified. He just goes around taking like one chomp out of things and then like running away. But all these incidents lead to a US government agent getting deployed who thinks it's a bunch of bullshit when he first gets the yes, James.
The first most poignant thing in this movie is not the assload of Soviet propaganda, because there is a ton of it, to be clear. The most poignant thing in this movie is the sailor who got rescued by the Iron Giant.
At the very beginning,
At the very beginning of the movie, being deposited safely, going back home, telling his tall tale, and then bragging to everyone he knows that he called the government and they're going to take care of it. What a piece of shit motherfucker.
It's almost like some McDonald's employees I know.
And this motherfucker wasn't even going to get paid for it. He said, I'm going to knock on the big robot thing that I saw. Shit, I'm going to let the government take care of it. Fuck the Russians. You don't even know if it was. You don't know what the fuck's going on. You illiterate fuck. You can't even fucking read. You didn't even know where you were. You were lost at sea. You don't even know what you saw. Call the government? What is that? Get the boot out of your mouth. It's poking out of your ass. Holy.
So this government official who doesn't want to be there and thinks it's a load of shit at first, gets sent to small town Maine, and he tells the person, one of the people that he interviews, because he's like, if they sent the government, this must be something big. And Mansley, Kent Mansley, who's the official that got sent, says no, because big things happen in big towns, and this is a small town, and big things don't happen in small towns. He says until his car got eaten.
Only one bite.
One bite and then fully eaten. He's the only thing, that car is the only thing that the Iron Giant eats in entirety.
Eats some like scraps in entirety, but that's later.
So he does eventually believe that there is a being of sorts, and he gets given the busted up BB gun from...
And it says Hog Hug because Hogarth's name is fucking a travesty.
Yes.
What a shitty fucking name. Is he a junior? His dad's dead and gone, so like he must be. I blame his absent father for his name. He's probably dead.
Hogarth Hughes?
Yeah, I blame Hogarth's dad for his name. What a terrible name. That's such a shitty fucking name. It's like naming your kid Hiccup.
Are you just saying that because...
It's because Hiccup's a terrible name.
Okay.
And it was pointed out by the live chat earlier that Hiccup is a terrible name.
I like Hiccup better than Hogarth.
Hiccup's at least a thing. What is Hogarth? Some jumbled up fucking consonants?
I don't know. It just reminds me of Hodor. Every time I hear it.
Hogarth's like worse Hodor. And Hodor is a man who can only say one word. And it is his name. And it's not his name. It's a command.
You know, for someone who didn't watch...
That shit might make me cry.
You know, it's an awful scene. It is an awful scene. But for someone who's never watched Game of Thrones, you know way too much about Game of Thrones.
Well, sometimes you'd come back home after watching Game of Thrones with one of our stream viewers, and you would talk all about the episode that you watched and how much fun it was. So maybe I know a ton of things about Game of Thrones. Maybe I've watched some videos about Game of Thrones, and maybe I find the whole thing very interesting, but I can't pay attention for that long. It's too much effort.
Yeah, you also have to, like, know an extensive, like, fucking amount of... It's one of those, like, shows that, like, requires, like, background knowledge to enjoy, and it's... Yeah.
He didn't even fucking finish writing the book yet. It doesn't matter.
Anyways. Hogarth also begins to... While Kent Mansley is on his little Iron Man hunt...
You're fired.
Hogarth is teaching the giant about bad guys and good guys.
It's wrong to kill.
And he is teaching him about Superman. Because this is the 50s and Superman.
When did Superman first come out?
In the
30s, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say in the 50s, but now you have me second guessing myself. I don't actually know.
Find out. 1938. Boom, baby.
So I am reading the synopsis on Wikipedia and disagreeing with it wholeheartedly.
What about?
Well, because he doesn't suspect Hogarth's involvement right away. It takes him a little bit.
It takes him after the first... He suspects Hogarth's involvement after he does the phone call with the general and then leaves their house. And when he gets back in his car, he's making fun of Hogarth's name.
That's
And then
how it
he's
happened.
like, that's stupid fucking name, stupid kid, stupid name, stupid town, stupid family, stupid everything. Suck. Why am I here? And he looks down at the mangled BB gun and he goes, hug, hug, and turns the car around and goes back. And then Hogarth is apocalyptically antagonistic towards him with good reason. He's a government official. You should be apocalyptically antagonistic towards those individuals. And so that's how that happens.
Yep. Okay. He ends up renting a room in Hogarth's house.
Yes, because he is now dead set on figuring out what the child knows.
No proof either. He has like zero evidence other than this busted BB gun.
Wouldn't it be really funny if Hogarth had nothing to do with it and he had just lost his BB gun a month prior and it just happened to get stumped on?
Also, like, his mom sucks.
Oh my god, she's so bad.
Like, she's like, oh yeah, no, Hogarth was up at the power plant the other day. I'm sorry, if a government...
She also, like, let him in and let him comment on her son's bowel movements.
Yeah, if a random guy started coming in and, like, being weird around my kid and, like, super invested in what my kid was doing, I would not just be offering up information about my child to this strange man.
Lord, no.
Like, no. Like,
people were just too nice in the 50s.
We've learned serial killers really came around in the 70s, and that's when people started going, ew, maybe we don't trust every single person that shows up on our doorstep.
That's right around when they started doing the, like, do you know where your child is? All the missing kids are on the milk cartons.
Have you hugged your child today?
Nope. Why are all the millennials so sad?
So, yes, so he ends up renting a room in his house, to keep an eye on him, and he's really bad at that. Like, he's, like, grotesquely bad at keeping an eye on this 9-year-old boy.
He gets smoked by this 9-year-old pretty easily.
Because, like, he's hiding the giant. Eventually, he convinces Dean, the junkyard owner, to hide the giant at the junkyard so that he can have as much metal to eat as he wants. And Dean uses him as an arts and crafts helper. And like, he just keeps sneaking off there. Like, they're not going to different places. He just keeps going to the same place. It cannot be this hard to track a 9-year-old. Like, I don't understand. So they end up hanging out, and eventually, and this is maybe we'll wrap up this episode because it's kind of like a clean break before we fall into the
rest of the things that happen.
Yeah, they're hanging out in the forest one day, and Hogarth is teaching the giant about, like, other creatures, and, like, there's a deer, and, like, the deer and the giant have a moment where the deer comes up and sniffs him. Also, my only other issue with this movie
is that they kill Bambi.
I mean, yes, but no. The inconsistency with how loud the giant is.
That is a big problem.
There is no way that giant sneaks up on a deer and that deer just hangs out and is chill.
Correct.
Like, every time he walks, the earth, like, vibrates, as we've seen in other shots, except when it doesn't, and it's convenient to the plot for him to be a stealth robot, apparently. Like, legit no consistency in his walking volume. But, so, what happens is the deer gets startled, not by the giant, oddly enough, but by a crack of a branch in the woods, runs off, gets shot. The hunters get scared by the giant.
Yep.
Leave their guns, for reasons, and leave the deer and just take off. And then Hogarth now has to explain to the giant that
the deer is dead and killing things is bad.
The deer is dead, guns kill people, and killing people is bad.
Oh, and this is the first time where he says that gun, and the robot goes, nuclear mode.
Yeah, very briefly. And he, like, is not himself when he's in, like, the... It's just programming when
he
he's
says,
in
let
red
me see
mode.
your war face, and he goes,
Yeah. So anytime there's a gun, he just has like a reflex built into his programming to like destroy it and the person wielding it, no matter what type of gun it is, fake, not fake, any sort of thing. So yeah, it's a really really good scene, and it leads to a secondary scene where they're kind of talking about it more, and um there's a little bit of religious undertones. If you're not into that sort of thing, sorry about it, but there's a little bit of religious undertones in this movie because we skipped a really funny scene where Hogarth does a prayer um that he has to get really dramatic about because he's trying to distract his mother from the giant robot hand walking around the house. But he explains that like creatures that feel things have souls, and souls don't die, according to Hogarth. Souls live forever. So the Iron Giant, by Hogarth's definition, has a soul, and therefore he can live forever. Um, which is reassuring to the giant who's just learning all these really big concepts.
Nothing like being 3 days old and discovering death.
So he's kind of reassured by that. They stare at the sky and the stars. And yeah, I think it's one of the like most it's one of the best ways I've ever seen a movie handle explaining death in a way that a child would understand it.
Yeah, they just asked a child.
It's really well done. And I feel like it's a really great way for like if you need to talk about that subject with your kids to have them watch this movie because it's a very easy way to explain it. And then be prepared for all the questions they're going to have afterwards. But
so many questions.
But yeah, no, I think it just I don't know, it was really handled well. And yeah, I didn't remember a lot about this movie other than the tragedy, and maybe that's why I blocked out the rest of it. Um Other than the really sad part at the end, which I did. I cried again. I cried when I watched it the first time, which is why I haven't ever watched it again because it's up there with like Old Yeller and stuff for me where I'm like I don't want to watch the robot die. Spoiler, the robot dies. So yeah, no, I don't know. It was there's a lot that goes over your head as a child if you know nothing about the Cold War and you know nothing about politics and you know nothing about the government and you are just a kid that's watching a movie and then all you remember is that the giant dies and it's sad. So yeah. Until next time.
Until 10 minutes from now.
Well, if you're watching the live recording. But if you're not.
Dude, I just live in the moment, man. I cannot be held liable for the things that I say in the past. That's very specifically something you can and will be held liable for.
Especially when it's recorded, which is what we're doing.
Recorded and posted on the internet for forever.
So we have a fun story for those of you guys that are here live. We discovered there is a long lost episode of CityWavesCinema that I entirely forgot existed, which is rare for me. And James remembered that it existed, which is rare for him. And we still have the recording. So as a Christmas gift to everyone, we are releasing the long lost episode, which probably only Green Gorilla knows about, of CityWavesCinema. Like either tonight or tomorrow night.
It's your Christmas gift.
It is. We're not going to tell you what it is. We're not going to say anything else about it than
it'll go up on the channels in the next 36 hours.
But it is the long lost Christmas episode of CityWavesCinema. So, yeah. Uncovered that recently, and then we both had to not both. one of us had to listen to it. James listened to it today.
I listened to the first of the 2 episodes, and I decided it was fine, and we're gonna put both out.
So if there's something horrible in the
If
second
there's some
episode,
really out of pocket shit in the second episode, I didn't proof it.
I'm terrified now because I was under the impression you listened to both.
Didn't have time.
So yeah, that'll be going out today or tomorrow.
Or the next day.
I'd prefer it today or tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah. No, it'll be in podcast land. It will not go out on YouTube because the VOD doesn't exist.
We was back when we was doing this on Twitch.
Yeah, the VOD gone. Doesn't exist.
If you listen to us on things like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you'll find it there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really all I have to say about it. I didn't even remember doing this episode. And James is like, "No, I have notes. We did it."
I have the notes that I took on the movie are in my phone.
And apparently James said that at least the first episode was really funny.
Fucking funny. I honestly, it might be some of our best work as a duo bouncing off each other.
I need to listen to
really
this
good.
episode when it goes live because I have no memory of this for some reason. I don't even know what year we recorded it in. Like, I don't know if this was last year or 2 years ago. It's freaking wild, dude. All right. It is voting time. So let me get this vote
I have fear.
up and running.
I have fear. Don't let me down.
I feel like they let you down continuously, so
I feel like they do it on purpose.
how do I do this from here again? I know there's a way.
I believe you can do it.
I believe I can too, but it's suddenly not giving me the option, which is strange. Huh.
What if you go to the other page?
This page? That doesn't... Yeah, it doesn't connect to the thing anymore. Normally there's like...
Oh, wait. Go to create. Go to go live. Click on that.
James! James, you're a wizard!
Hey, man, I'm fucking good at stuff.
I have been looking for this page for like months. Holy shit.
Does it work? Can you do the thing?
Yeah, I can. There's a plus button, which is what's missing on the other. Holy shit. James. Why didn't you say something months ago?
I didn't know what the problem was. I would come in here and you'd be like, "Oh, something wrong with the stream. I'll fix it eventually." And I'd go, "Okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, I trust you. I've always trusted you with our business affairs.
That's not true.
I've sometimes trusted you with our business affairs."
I don't know how to actually spell what this is, so Joker 2.
Yeah, there you go.
We also have Beetlejuice. I'm just gonna write X2 because I don't think I have enough characters to write Beetlejuice. So we got Joker 2, Beetlejuice. I'm gonna put it on here because it's been a popular vote the past couple times, so we'll see if it gets through today. And then let's throw James a bone here. Alrighty, that's balanced. We will be right back. Please enjoy this voting time. Sometimes I question my life choices.
Only sometimes.
You know where our other child is?
Nope.
He's in his bedroom. Okay. Alrighty. So, we've got a tie, it appears. No, we don't have a tie. It's Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. And 25% for 2 other things. Alright. The sequel to one of James's least favorite movies we've ever done on this channel.
Oh no.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting. I've been avoiding all spoilers. I've been waiting so that we could do it for podcast. I'm very excited. So, yeah. I didn't even save this one. I should save this. It's the Iron Giant, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're caught up, right? Like, we don't have any episodes backed up. Okay.
I don't think so. I'll double check. But I don't think so.
Hey, Green Girl would like you to know that he picked Anchorman 2. Which means
Actually, the Green Girl is in it for my benefit.
Hannah, I know, is the constant voter for Bring It On. Because she thinks it'd be funny. I'm with her. I don't think Brie will ever vote for that movie. No. Look, you said you didn't know how if we were gonna make content enough for. Ye of little faith, James. Ye of little faith. You ready? Any season can be spooky season if you feel it in your heart, Green Gorilla. Every season is spooky season if you carry your little jack-o'-lantern in your heart.
What the fuck? Girl, what? Shut up.
I've
Stop
had
that.
a lot of eggnog.
Oh, you're hammered. Oh. That's why when we went in the hallway, you touched my dick.
That is not what happened.
No, that didn't happen. Wouldn't it be funny?
All right. I said jack-o'-lantern, not pumpkin. See? Bree's with me. Bree understands. Bree understands probably more than I do. Bree truly carries a little jack-o'-lantern around in her heart. Year round. Are you alive? Good? What's up?
Oh.
Oh. Oh, ow.
Oh. That's a hockey game I'd watch. Brutal.
You know, as opposed to all those hockey games that you don't want to watch. All right, you ready? Focus back in. Focus back in. Are you focused? Are you ready?
Uh-huh. Do you have a warrant?
For what? Where was that going to go, James?
I want that on. Alright, carry on.
Ernie. I think it's in the other room.
What?
Another muted coaster.
Oh, I thought we were looking at a Squishmallow for no reason.
Yeah, just.
I just like you turned around and looked in the general vicinity of the Squishmallow, and I was like, "Look at him, a little snack,
Jimbo.
a slippery little snack."
He's not little. He's Jumbo Jimbo.
Oh no.
Alrighty. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is the longest quiet intro ever. Why? For those of you that are just listening, James has slowly scooched himself up to the microphone and then tried to drag it away from me while I was talking.
Would you trust a man who had a soul patch and 5 o'clock shadow at all hours of the day to watch your child in a junkyard? No. That's the correct option. Hogarth's mom is not a good mom.
Hogarth's mom doesn't know that he's going there all the time.
She does eventually. She tricks the dean into telling her.
Yeah, but that's not till like so much later.
I don't know. You ever lose your kid in a junkyard?
No.
To a man with a soul patch? An espresso?
No. No. I've never lost a child. So, there. I also was told that I made a bunch of puns in the last episode, and I don't even remember the puns I made. So, unintentional puns. For those of you who are just joining us and are not attending the live recording of this, to fill you in because everyone else is in on the joke, I've had a lot of alcoholic eggnog, and it's very strong alcoholic eggnog, so I'm a little tipsy. Anyways, Iron Giant, I'm America, that's James. This is part 2. We left off with death. So yeah, where do you wanna take it from here, James?
Well, now Hogarth has to spend a day with Mansley to see the sights.
Yeah.
Because Mansley is convinced that the child knows about where the giant monstrosity is, and so Hogarth takes him to a couple places, and
then drugs him.
Gives him a bunch of laxative chocolate in his ice cream. Then Mansley, in the middle of the ice cream shop, loses his fucking mind
on a child,
screeching at this child, and no one does a goddamn thing about it. No one in this town likes Hogarth or his mother.
Like, it's like, and he not only
it's the sort of goes off moment where I would look at that in real life and go, I think I will step in and like tell this guy off. At least.
It's not even like just the fact that he's losing it on a child. He's also like spouting like conspiracy theories and going off on like tangents about the satellite and all this stuff, and it's like, it's just a completely unhinged moment from a man who up until this point, while very focused on finding this giant and being very bad at it, has been relatively like sane. So yeah, it is weird. It was a weird turn. So yeah, and eventually
Hogarth gives him laxatives, gives him the slip, goes and hangs out in the junkyard. Oh, we also missed my favorite moment.
What's your favorite moment?
It's when when they go to the junkyard for the first time, and the Iron Giant sets off the car alarm, and just instead of trying to eat the car, which is the first, like that's what I thought he was gonna do, because the car alarm's going off, and he's panicking, and instead of trying to eat the car, he hits the car like 4 more times. It does not stop the car alarm, and then he throws the car into the stratosphere, which is the funniest thing that could have happened in the moment, is to panic and throw it in a direction.
It's one of 2 moments in this movie where I looked at it and I went, so what are the repercussions for these actions? Like, stop it. No, because like if you throw that car, someone's gonna get hurt. Where did the car go?
Probably into the woods. Probably hit some trees.
And crushed a bear's den where the baby bears were sleeping with their mother, hibernating in the winter, and now they're all dead, James?
Are bears native to Maine?
They're native to forests.
Are they hibernating by October?
I don't know.
Hey, you wanted to ask pedantic ass questions and you're not going to follow through on mine? Realistically, you know where that car went because you hear it crash? Another part of the junkyard. Impacting 0 people. Pull the hate stick out of your butt.
I love this movie. I'm the one that told you to watch it. I said it was on the list.
Why are you so mad about it?
Because the podcast is about.
The podcast isn't about being mad at the movies. That was the initial premise.
I'm not mad at the movie.
Sounds like you're kind of mad at the movie.
I'm not mad at the movie.
It sounds like it. So, anyways, Mansley eventually catches up with Hogarth when Hogarth comes back home, and then the worst sequence ever of all time occurs.
Oh, yeah.
In which Hogarth is effectively kidnapped, interrogated. Also, we skipped over another part where Mansley finds Hogarth's missing camera and develops his film without his permission.
We didn't skip over that. We were just about to get to it.
No, because it's after he develops the film that he kidnaps Hogarth.
Yeah.
In his garage.
Yeah. We hadn't gotten to the kidnapping.
I literally just said it.
I know, but you...
So I would have gone past it.
And you skipped it. I didn't skip it.
Right, but it's a collective we.
Carry on.
No, I'm not going.
No. It is one of the, like, most child abuse scenes I've ever seen in an animated movie. Like, he keeps him from his mother. He interrogates a minor. He is physically aggressive with the minor. He drugs the minor with chloroform and then threatens his...
To have him taken away.
Yeah, to have him basically taken away from his mom.
Nothing like CPS from the 50s.
So, it's just like, ugh, and a kid's...
It's the moment where you go, oh, he is the bad guy. Like, he's just the bad guy. He is the antagonist of everyone.
Yeah, it went from him being like a government official who's just trying to figure this out and kind of like the conflicting interest of the boy trying to keep the robot safe and this government guy trying to like do his job basically, to like him being a straight up like villain, like a comic book villain.
He turns into the fucking a villain as sinister as the fucking creature from Hunchback.
So using this photo and his slight interrogation of Hogarth, he calls the general again and is like, I have the proof you asked for. And the general gets the entire... Actually, I don't know how to say this because I'm not really into military.
He deploys a chunk of military.
Thank you. I was like, he sends a bunch of fucking people, which he comments on costs millions of dollars. And millions of dollars in 1957 money, that has to be like...
I think he said he blew $1 million.
I thought he said millions.
He might have said millions. I don't recall exactly.
Anyways, they bring out the government, or they bring out the army or the military, and he tries to keep a watch on Hogarth so Hogarth doesn't warn Dean and the giant at the junkyard, but he's like really bad at it, as he is with most things. And Hogarth sneaks out, warns them, and in the time that it takes for the military to get there, Dean and the giant have disguised the giant as a piece of Dean's art. And so that's when the whole thing of like the general yelling at Mansling and being like, "You just pissed away." Actually, he doesn't say pissed. He's like, I think he says, "Blew out your butt millions of dollars of millions of taxpayer dollars."
Yeah.
And so yeah, basically, it works, but it only works for like an hour tops, because then Hogarth hangs out and plays at the junkyard some more. And this is when he has a fake little phaser gun.
Yep.
And he is trying to get the robot to play the bad guy so that he can play the hero, and the robot doesn't want to play the bad guy because the robot wants to be Superman. And so when he sees the gun pointed at him, the robot, the Iron Giant, his programming goes into effect. He cannot differentiate the difference between like a fake gun and a real one. And so his defense mechanism is triggered and he fires a laser, which Hogarth avoids out of luck.
Dumb luck.
And then the second time, Dean gets involved and he yells at the giant and makes the giant leave, and because he feels bad. And he doesn't want to be a gun, so he leaves and goes trudging off into the wilderness in a blizzard that suddenly appeared. And in not enough time for the giant to make it very far, Dean figures out, oh, it was a defense mechanism. Like, he wasn't trying to actually harm Hogarth, it was just reactionary. And the giant has since, I mean, I guess he has very large steps, has since taken off and is very far away from the junkyard. And here's two children
Screech
for help as they have fallen after seeing him through binoculars. They have fallen and they're hanging by a strap. He saves their lives, and as he saves their lives, the military sees him, turns around, and basically starts combat with the Iron Giant, which triggers more defense mechanisms other than just some eye lasers. Like, this guy has like intergalactic weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, and it is exactly like the hubris of 1950s America to be like, fuck it, shoot it. And they shoot it with every gun available. And none of them work.
And then when none of them work, they contact the subs in the ocean.
The Nautilus.
And tell them to fire a bomb at the giant. And with no regard to like civilian safety or anything, like they're like, oh, well, we can lead it away and then shoot it. But also, if a bomb goes off that close to a town, no matter how, unless you like led him fucking miles away, miles and miles and miles, it's gonna affect that tiny little town. Like, even just the fallout of the bomb. So they have the bomb lined up. At this point, Hogarth, who previously had been knocked unconscious, has regained consciousness and is run after the giant to calm him down. And in doing so, he narrowly stops the giant from blowing up the submarine, which honestly probably just should have let him continue. But he stops the giant from blowing up the submarine, and then we get to see how big the giant's, like, mega bomb is. And that's my other issue. I was like, where did that bomb explode? Like, did that harm anything? James?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's an alien weapon. I don't know what happened.
All right, so it goes off into somewhere.
A big kaboom.
And explodes. And
over the ocean.
The boy calms the giant down. Him and the giant walk back, and they have now convinced the general at least to not shoot for like half a second. And in that half a second, that's all Mansley needs is to grab the radio and tell the submarine to fire.
Which is the last thing he does in a string of
really stupid things.
Demented, borderline murderous actions that betray his initial character.
He just becomes more and more unhinged, I feel like, as the movie goes on.
It's very... Keep going. I need to figure out the fucking thing it's like. Because it's like something in pop culture and I don't... It's on the tip of my tongue. I just gotta figure it out.
Okay. So now there's a giant missile coming for this town. And they... Mansley tries to flee. And the military stops him. And they're like, you're gonna be a good soldier. You're gonna hang out here with all of us. And we're all gonna die together. Sucks to suck, bro. And so... basically, the way that this all ends is the way we've been saying it was going to end since the beginning. The giant sees this as his chance to be Superman. Me, I'm gonna cry. And he flies up into the sky. He says goodbye to Hogarth, and he flies up into the sky, and he stops the missile, and it's very sad. And everyone is saved. And then sometime later, I think they flashed a time card, but I don't remember what it says. It just says months later in the
it's just later
synopsis. But months later, the military sends Hogarth the only piece they recovered from the giant because they felt like he should have it. Dean and his mom are dating now. And here's my final issue with this movie. They said that little screw was the only piece they recovered. But when we go at the end of the movie, because the robot, as we know, can repair itself. As we follow this screw towards the robot's location, the robot is like, it's not underwater. It's not buried. It's not like even hard to see. So how did the military not find it?
Well, because they're
but they found a screw.
Well, because they're incompetent.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's the plot of the entire Iron Giant movie. Did you figure out what you were thinking about?
Yes. His Mansley's descent into madness. I don't know if they did it on purpose or if it just happened this way. It could go either way, to be honest, but it's very Lovecraftian. And the interesting thing there is the movie's set in Lovecraft country. Like, all of H.P. Lovecraft's works take place in small town northeast Maine and around, much like Stephen King.
What is it about that?
I don't know, but I don't want to go and I don't want to find out. But it just, Lovecraft's horror was always, he was a very racist man, but Lovecraft's horror was always based in paranoia and fear of something other, something different, something unknown, etc. And Mansley's character arc and progression through the whole movie is like that of a fallen human in a Lovecraft story. Like, they've driven themselves to the brink of madness, dealing with the paranoia, the fear, and I'm going to say for Mansley, not innocently making choices that provoke themselves. And it just, I didn't think about it when I watched it, but I thought about it the more we've been talking about the movie and the more I was thinking about, like, well, it isn't Maine, and that's up there. where all the fucking most horrifying
The
H.P. Lovecraft
beginning,
stories
the
go.
beginning gives off real Lovecraft vibes, like that whole sequence with like the cliffs and
sea.
saving the sailor
Yep.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's I don't know if Brad Bird was inspired by Lovecraft a little bit or Stephen King a little bit with some of the progression of Mansley, but it reads very Lovecraftian. The relationship between Mansley and the Iron Giant. And that does like it doesn't have any bearing on the story really. It's just an observation that I made, but the the end of the movie, I was like, it was a fitting ambiguous ending to have the screw wake up and leave. But then it ruined my ambiguous ending by going to a glacier in Iceland where chunks of the Iron Giant are reassembling themselves. Which to me was like, oh, I mean, it's fine, but like, it would have been cooler if the audience doesn't know where the Iron Giant is reforming itself, but they know that it is reforming itself. And so it lets the audience play a little bit and be like, gosh, I wonder where it is. I wonder who's going to experience the Iron Giant next. And instead, we get the answer to the question, which is a lot less magical. And it's like, oh, the people in the glacier in Iceland. Yay. All 10 of them. Wowee.
And then there's like 13 minutes of credits. Bless you.
Edit that out. Yeah. So that's the movie. Pretty good.
I'm glad
Pretty good movie for kids.
I'm glad that you at least somewhat enjoyed it. It wasn't just a horrible, miserable time for you.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a miserable. It wasn't the Flintstones. God, it was like a story that wasn't dog shit.
Hey, to be fair, the first Flintstones.
There were characters that were moderately compelling.
First Flintstones, not bad. Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas. Ugh. Yeah, no, I've always liked this movie. I thought it was sad the first time I watched it. I thought it was sad the second time I watched it. The reason I haven't watched it since I was 6 is I had some childhood trauma in there. I feel like it's a little it's a little bit too much like E.T. but animated and with a robot. Yeah. No, it's cute. It's good. I mainly put it on the list because James had never seen it, and I feel like it's a movie that you should at least see once.
Well, see, I didn't think it was very much like E.T. because I fucking hate E.T. and I didn't think this movie was bad.
What's wrong with E.T.?
It's horrifying front to back.
I mean, my sister would agree with you, but you weren't sad?
No.
You didn't cry at E.T.?
I don't cry at movies.
When he's dying? In the, like, science plastic room?
Yeah, no, because I thought he was a horrifying abomination. Didn't really have an emotional connection there.
But
I was happy that he got to go home.
But he's sad.
Nah.
I'll be right here.
I'm looking at that going like, that finger's fucked up. I don't like that finger.
Okay, you've never seen E.T.?
Oh, dear.
You
All
should...
right. That was for the live chat.
That was for the live chat. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so live chat voted. We'll be watching Beetlejuice, which is good because we've watched Beetlejuice on this channel. Technically that would have counted. No, I said which is good. Okay. I was like, technically that would have summoned him because I said it 3 times, but it was broken, so it's fine. We'll be watching Beetlejuice sometime. With
We post holidays.
Yeah, with the holidays, as you can tell by our lack of uploads, it's already been crazy. And it's gonna get a little bit crazier. I'm traveling for a week. James is traveling for a week separately. Like, we're traveling at different times and separately from each other, so it's gonna be a little rough in January. But I feel like we should be able to get it done before January's over at some point.
Probably.
Yeah. So, thank you. I hope you have a happy holidays or had a happy holidays by the time you're listening to this. Welcome to 2025.
Superman.
I couldn't think of a better way to end it. All right.
Hold on, I need to cut
That
that
sneeze.
horrible sneeze out.
It was like 21 something. Right there.
There it is. Ba-do-do-do.
Oh, you're gonna need to cut out the bless you that happens right after that too. Otherwise, there's just gonna be a weird bless you. Ah, it never happened. Look at that.
Incredible.
You want to save it while you're there? All right, everybody who is here live. Also coming up this month, actually it'll be more like February because it comes out on the 31st of January. Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 is coming out, and I've played every other chapter. I don't see why I wouldn't play this one. Now that we used to be a video game podcast or a video game channel that sometimes podcasts. Now we're more like a podcast channel that sometimes does video games.
Yep.
But
that's because we have a baby.
That's not the reason. I wish we could blame it on that, but
that's why it started, was because you were pregnant and felt like shit all the time. And we were like, no, I'm not gonna fucking stream if you feel like shit.
That's true.
And then the baby was here, and we were like, I don't sleep anymore, so I'd rather do that.
I actually think Poppy is the last video game we played on this channel.
Could be, or hockey, or Hogwarts.
Maybe.
Man, it was so much fun being a child in Hogwarts and running around killing adults.
We played Poppy in January of last year. So I think that... Anyways. Poppy Chapter 4. Coming out January 31st. So we will be there for that. That's really easy because I can just play and James can dip out if needed to handle the baby. And... yeah. Until 2025, because there's no way that anything will be happening on this channel until then. Look out for that lost episode in podcast land.
We're gonna shut down the stream, and I'm gonna edit the episodes and then post them tonight.
So yeah, if you're traveling for the holidays or you need something to listen to while your family is going nuts,
it is a Christmas movie. If you feel like decorating tomorrow,
someone who needs to put their tree up,
or if you just want to listen to more of my melodious voice, it's coming.
Yeah,
it'll be up on all the podcast platforms by midnight.
And if there's something really unhinged in the second episode and someone catches it before we do...
No, you didn't.
Text me.
Nope. You didn't. You didn't hear it. You didn't know. Didn't happen.
Okay. I mean, if we even got canceled off fucking 50 Shades of Grey or Has Been Hotel, we're fine. I suppose.
Oh, Has Been.
I'm so excited for season 2.
More.
You enjoyed it. You act like you didn't enjoy it, but you watched it all in one night and laughed and thoroughly had a good time.
It's hard though, because that's like one of those ones where I watch it and I go, I can't look away. It's sort of like watching a slow train wreck. Has Been Hotel.
Low blow, Karen.
You went to my boss? Low blow, Karen.
What a productive meeting. That's my favorite fucking quote.
What now?
It's such a good show. I know we technically wrapped up, but to answer your question, Brie, I tried to watch Hell of a Boss. I couldn't get into it.
Just didn't like it.
I tried.
She didn't like it.